Hey guys, I know it has been like a super duper long time. Like I believe I looked at my last video that I uploaded was like 3 weeks ago. I feel really bad about that, but I have been dating someone, and when I do not work, me and him normally hang out. And when I am working, that obviously takes up a lot of my time, and then of course taking care of the animals. So I know that's not a really good excuse, but YouTube's just been kind of put on the back burner just because like I said, where I'm dating someone, and to me, relationships are a little bit more important. But I still want to make videos, obviously, and I kind of was stumped for a while on what to do. But I do have where I am going to be weighing the geckos for their monthly weights. So we're going to start out with Snickers, and I've got my scale over here. Just need to turn it on. I already checked to make sure that it was balanced with like my little 100-gram weight that I have, which I can show you guys what that looks like. So I suggest, if you guys are weighing your reptiles, which obviously I definitely suggest because it's a good way to monitor to make sure they're growing, that they don't have parasites, because most of the time if they have parasites they will lose weight, just because obviously those parasites are eating on the nutrients of their body and all that, fun stuff that parasites do. But it also is a good way to make sure, like I said, that they're healthy, that they're growing properly, and that they're not gaining too much weight, because then you can kind of decide, do they need to go on a diet, which is, you still want to feed every certain amount of days depending on what you have, so like if you've got a baby or an adult, but you just don't feed as much. So I'll go ahead, like I said, and grab Snickers, and we'll get started on weighing, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Okay guys, so here is Snickers. She's looking really pretty and fired up. She was actually hiding in a spot in her tank where she was exposed to the light, so that always helps her fire up real nice and pretty. So last month she weighed 58 grams, so we're going to come on over here. We'll see what we got this month. It's down there. Holy crap. Almost a 10 gram. Wait, how much was it? Oh, 58. Okay, so she's only gained a gram. That's actually not too bad, because I was scared that she was going to gain like a whole bunch of weight, because she looks like a little pudgy lady. But that is actually really good, 59. So it's just 1 gram, because normally once they start getting close to their adult weight, they're not really going to be gaining a whole lot. They'll kind of find that area where they just kind of stay. So that's really good. I'm not going to sit her on my notebook because I don't want her to poop on it, but I'll show her to you. She's really pretty right now. I definitely cannot wait for the future with her and breeding and everything. I'm still looking for a really good male to pair her with, just because she is my favorite, and she's probably going to be worth the most out of all the babies that I have that will be producing. So I want to find a really nice male for her. But obviously I'm in no hurry because she isn't even 2 yet. Let me look. Because I swear on my calendar I saw, I believe it was in April or May that she's going to be 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put her up, and then we'll go ahead and start on with the next baby. Okay guys, so this here is Bramble. He's actually fired down right now, but he is one of my blonde harlequins, or I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to be as he gets a little bit older, just because his father, which is of course Magma, who's a blonde harlequin, still had orange on him before he got to adult age, and as he got older that orange just turned to white, or to cream actually. So I'm kind of watching him, because as you can see, a lot of his side patterns have started to go cream, and there's not really a lot of orange left in there. Like, there's still some vague spots right here of orange, but it's starting to go cream, so I'm really hoping that he goes cream. It's not like he's worth any more being a blonde, but I personally think blonde harlequins are pretty. Okay, stay on there. So he has 44 grams, so he gained 1 gram. So that seems to be pretty common. What's crazy though, he is 44 grams and he looks so skinny, but he's not. It's so weird because he just looks like a little skinny boy. But he's 44 grams, which is a good weight for his age, so. Male geckos seem to grow a little bit slower than females. Now that's not the case with Mischief, because I'm pretty sure, let me see, because he's going to be next. Let me see. I'll go ahead and show him to you real quick. You can see how he has a very floppy crest. I just love playing with it, so floppy. His crest is just going to be huge when he gets to full adult size, because look how big it is right now. And I love these frills that stick up right here. Oh, he doesn't like that. Love those frills. And he's just super calm and friendly, so he does not care if you pick him up. I'm going to sit him right here, though, so I can look. So Mischief, yeah, Mischief was 54 grams last month, and Bramble is just now 44. So, I mean, they grow different, But what's crazy is they have the same parents. So I'm not sure. It just goes to show you that each gecko grows different and at different rates. So, but we'll go ahead and get Mischief out next, and then we'll do Harmony after that. Oop. Give me a little lick. Oop. Here is Mischief, and I just woke him up, so he's kind of a little hyper. He's not as laid back as Bramble, which obviously kind of gets his name from that, but he still has quite the large crest, as you can see, if I can get him to stop for a second. You can see that his crest is also very floppy, which I like. And of course Snickers is as well, I just didn't really show that off too much. So we'll go ahead and weigh him, and he was 54 grams last month. So let's see what we got. Nope. Stay. 55. It seems to be a running trend that everyone's just gaining 1 gram. Okay, come over here. Now, of course, the only time I use scales that only weigh in the first 2 parts, not by decimals, is once they get to a certain weight. I normally do not go off of the specifics anymore, just because by then they're kind of getting close to their adult weight, and it's not really going to fluctuate a lot, and those point decimals really aren't as important as, say, when they're babies, and you kind of need to know if they're gaining weight or staying the same. And also, I'm pretty sure this scale does not weigh anything that is under like 6 grams or something, because it's not as sensitive as like the scale that my dad gave me for weighing smaller objects. Go ahead and sit him down real quick, and we'll give him a little look. He's kind of starting to fire up right here. As you can see, it's starting to darken a little bit. Yes. Once he's out for a little bit, he becomes a little bit more laid back. But he is my sweetest male, just because he not once has shown any interest in being slightly aggressive for like mating and stuff, because Bramble will latch onto my hand and he'll make his little mating call sounds, and he's partially aggressive when he's acting like that, but then he acts like he did earlier, where you see he's just, you know, chill. He don't care. So just a typical male for you, but it's nice because Mischief is not that way, and he's definitely grown out, so he could be acting like that right now if he wanted to, and he doesn't, so it's nice. Okay guys, so this here is Harmony. She is Mischief's future mate. She is an extreme Halloween because she does not have any white on her, and she's all orange. She has a really pretty like red throat, which I hope you can see well in the camera. And then she has that red color that kind of continues along with her body, and when she's fired up, it's like a deep maroon color. So she weighed 47 grams last month, so we'll see what she weighs now. Okay, I'll switch hands real quick. She does have like 2 Dalmatian spots on her face. Oh, it's okay. There we go. Oh, 48, so she gained 1 gram. Oh my gosh. Seems to be the running trend. It's kind of amusing. So you can kind of see her while she's sitting still. She's really pretty. Now when she's fully fired down, because I think she's starting to fire up, because this part of her is starting to get dark. When she's fired down, she has really pretty like red spots. I don't know if you'd call them Dalmatian spots or not, but I assume there's some sort of spot. You kind of can see them right here. But yeah, and her throat is just so pretty. It's such a pretty red color. So I am definitely excited to see what these two will produce in the future. Where did I put my pen? Oh, there it is. Okay. But no, I'm pretty excited to see what these guys will produce in the future, just because Mischief is a, I suppose, actually I don't trust her completely sitting there for a while, so we'll just show her quickly. But, because she always likes to poop and pee on stuff. I don't know what her deal is. She just doesn't like me. I'm going to go ahead and put her up real quick. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, I'll continue what I was saying real quick, and then we'll move on to the next baby, which is Indigo. But with Mischief being a tricolor, which, hold on, oh, Blossom, okay. With Mischief being a tricolor, and then of course he is full siblings to Snickers, and she, of course, as you guys saw, is just completely covered in pattern. So I'm pretty excited to see, just because I know the genetics are in there. And he's pretty covered in pattern as well, so I'm curious what they're going to produce. Like if it's going to be a mix of Halloweens and tricolors, or if there's going to be like something crazy in there that I just don't know about. So it's going to be neat to see what those two produce in the future. Of course, it won't be another year or two before I breed them, One, I want Harmony to be a little bit fatter, like a little bit more full grown, because right now, yes, I could breed her if I wanted to. She's over 45 grams, but I don't feel comfortable breeding her until she is fully grown up. So around 3 or 4 years old is where I'd feel comfortable, and right now she's almost, let's see, just because I had to guesstimate, I feel like she's probably close to 2 years old, because she should be around 2 years old in June or July, if I'm guessing correctly. The person didn't know the exact day she was born, which really wasn't helpful, but from the weight that she weighed when I got her, it kind of helped me guess around the age range she was in. So, but anyway, we'll move on to Indigo next, and then we'll be weighing Whisper and then the adults. Okay, so this here is Indigo, and she actually, it's very strange. It's actually kind of funny because Whisper isn't like this, but she actually has inherited the green color that her mother has, because I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but she has like this slight green tint to her, and it's super interesting because Ember is the same way. But of course this is Ember's only baby that I kept aside from Whisper, but of course he is for sale. And she is a tricolor, but you can see where it kind of divides, where there's that cream and then the orange, but her dorsal is what I'm really excited to see, because obviously neither of her parents' dorsal looks like this, and I'm pretty sure, I need to look, but I've not seen any of Magma's relatives or parents look like this with the dorsal pattern. So I'm kind of curious if it's from Ember's side of the family, and obviously her genetics are unknown, so kind of curious though, because like it's really pretty. I really hope it like fills in as she gets older and is just a really pretty cream color. But anyway, she was 48 grams, so she weighs the same last month that Harmony weighs this month. So we'll go ahead and see what we got here. Go ahead and get all the way on there. Okay, that's good. It is apparently just going to be a trend, guys. Everyone's probably just going to gain 1 more gram. So I'll put her back on here one more time just to make sure, but that's funny. 49, oh, okay, now we're at 50. Let's do a third time. Let it completely zero. Hold on, don't move. Yeah, we're just going to go with 49 because it said 50 that one time, but I mean, it's fluctuating. So she probably is really close to 50 grams, and the scale just kind of fluctuated, but we'll kind of look at her a little bit from here. You can really see the definition from the cream to the orange when she's in the light. It's very pretty, and of course her crest, even though it's not as good as the others, she is not fully 2 years old yet. She'll be 2 in September, but you can still see that it really is developing because it's very floppy. She's freaking hilarious when she does that. Oop, okay. We're going to climb on the hand sanitizer. Anyway, I'll go ahead and stick her in here. This is her little setup. And at first I was going to take that coconut out, but she can somehow fit in there, so I've just left it. But this is, of course, what her tank looks like. So anyway, we'll go ahead and write down that 49 grams. And then we're going to move on to her brother, Whisper. Get that wrote down. So I just remembered I really haven't showed you guys her Whisper and Bramble's setups since I kind of added some more stuff in there. So I'll go ahead and show you. I'm pretty sure the hides were in there, but they both have an additional plant in here. And then this is just from the top what it looks like. There is this bare space because I don't like the tanks to be completely full of stuff. I still do want that floor space for them to roam around if they wanted to. And what's annoying is I cannot add any plants that have suction cups to the side right here because this is at a curve. So the suction cup does not want to stick to it, so... Okay, had a little interruption there, but that's okay. Anyway, this is what Whisper's tank looks like. Bramble's pretty much looks the exact same, only a different hide. But we have a little Whisper here. And he has been getting pretty decent size. Kind of get him to come out. He likes to... grip onto everything like really tightly with his feet and his tail, so I always have to be careful not to hurt him on accident. He is a blonde harlequin as well, and he's got a little bit more desirable patterning, and as you can see, I almost wonder if that pattern that is the second to the left is going to kind of grow and touch his dorsal as he, you know, grows up. He's got a cat hair in his mouth. Not surprising, but yeah, this one right here, it's really close. And then as you can see on this side, there's also the same one there. So we'll take a peek and see how much he was last month. So he was 40, which I was watching because he actually went down 2 grams, which was kind of weird. It's not completely out of the normal, but I don't like them losing weight when they're still young, so we're going to see. 1 second. Make sure that's cleaned off. We will see what he's weighing. Okay, 43, so I'm pretty happy about that. So that means he gained back the 2 grams plus 1. So that's always good because he isn't really into insects that much, so it's mainly relying on him eating all of his food. So that's really good news. I'll go ahead and, well, I guess I'll leave him on here and I'll kind of show him off to you. So you can see here his really pretty patterns. His orange is pretty much all eaten up. He hasn't really got a lot of orange on his legs like Bramble does. Kind of flip him over here. Okay, there we go. Kind of show off this side. And his crest is interesting. It's really, really spiky. Like it's getting fuller because you can see, oh, please hold still. You can see how it's kind of getting floppy as he gets older, but it's very pokey. It's not the traditional look, but it still looks nice. So it's just interesting. But anyway, we're going to get those weights written down. I'll go ahead and stick him back in here, and then we will move on to the adults. Okay, guys, so here's Ember. I literally just woke her up, so I think she's kind of annoyed. But I don't know if you can see the slight green tint that she has to her body in the camera. Like, I have no clue if it's showing up or not. But it's so interesting that Indigo kind of has that similar pattern. But you see her back kind of has similar pattern to Indigo's, but at the same time, it's not all the way filled in. It's still got, oh, I forget she's kind of in heat or whatever you want to call it, but she was kind of flicking her tail at me. We'll go ahead and weigh her so I don't irritate her too much. So it looks like she is 77. Woman, you're going on a diet. Good grief, that is like the most she has ever weighed, so she's definitely going on a diet. Oh my goodness. Such a fat woman. Okay, because last month she was 73. She's gained 4 grams. That's just ridiculous. Unless she has eggs that she's got in her, that would explain it. But still, the eggs should only... Whoops, that looked bad. The eggs should only weigh like 2 grams at the most. So still, even if she had eggs in there, that means she's 75 grams, which still means she's going on a diet. So anyway, we'll move on to the next gecko. But that's crazy, Ember, you little chubby lady. Okay, guys, so we have Blaze next. And again, that was just insane that Ember weighed so much. Like... And, of course, I didn't really show her as much just because I didn't want to aggravate her, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I had first got her out and was touching her, she kind of waggled her tail at me a little bit. And so I didn't really want to stress her out too much by coming across as like a male or something, because that's what they do when they don't want to mate. So I went ahead and put her up immediately. So, but Ember, or not Ember, but Blaze is not that way, so I will show her off to you. This is, of course, the mother of Bramble, Mischief, and Snickers. So she is a tricolor. I feel like she could be classified as an extreme tricolor just because she has got pattern on almost the entire sides of her body. Either way, though, whether you classify her as a regular tricolor or a extreme, she still is a beautiful gecko, of course. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put her on here. What's crazy is her Bramble, or not Bramble, her Magma and Ember are all going to be 6 years old this year, which is insane. Okay, so she's 62. That is a really good weight for her, because I feel like she's always in the 50s, so 62 is good. Let's take a peek. So yeah, she was 60 last month, so that's always good. Go ahead and put 62 on there, and then we will do Magma next. Kind of show her a little bit. Her really pretty pinstriping, even though it breaks in a couple areas down here. Kind of see her. She's a very pretty gecko. Like, I like how her patterning is. But I'm obviously glad that her babies... Now, I feel like Mischief could have inherited some of his patterning from her just because his is more choppy, as where Snickers is more kind of organized and in specific places. So I feel like that's probably from more Magma side of the family. But either way, very pretty geckos. Okay, guys, so here is Magma. He, of course, is my blonde harlequin. And as you can see... He is all cream, aside from his head is brown, but they can kind of differ between brown and cream heads, as long as they're not orange, of course. So as you can see, there is a very small amount, which I don't know if you can actually see. We'll come over here into the light. In between the cream, it's kind of a brownish orange color, and that's probably the only kind of orangey color he has on his entire body is just kind of in between those patterns. But I'm hoping that this is kind of what Bramble will have happen, where those oranges will fade out, because you can kind of see, and I'll put a little arrow, where there is some very vague orange color on his body still. And you can kind of see it on that leg, there's kind of an orange stripe. But of course he is fired down right now, he's starting to kind of get a little bit darker, but when he fires up completely, you cannot see any orange at all, which is kind of the same with Bramble. And the cream really stands out on his body. He's doing a little whistle noise that he does, so cute. Okay, get all the way on there, buddy. He likes to walk around, especially if the scale smells like other geckos. Hey, stop. So it's saying 62, but I want him to be more in the center. Okay, there's good, but put your tail on. Stop. Okay, because I feel like whenever his tail isn't on there, like, his tail is quite thick. It's not as long as, like, Ember's, but it's a very thick, stocky tail. And so, which I kind of miss Snickers' tail, because her tail was a really pretty color like this as well. So I don't think it's going to fluctuate any. So 63 grams, that's pretty good. And as you can see with him, he also has the very floppy crest. But what's crazy is I feel like his kids are going to have floppier crests than him. And then, of course, he's got the kind of cluster of spikes on his crest right there, which is really pretty. So anyway, we're going to write down 63 grams. Let's see, he was 60 last month. I'm going to sit him there. Okay, so all we have left is Phoenix. And she's always smaller because she's my pet only and she's a frog butt, so she really doesn't have any extra weight there. You can kind of see he's starting to fire up darker now because he definitely looks darker versus when I got him out. Always seems like during the day, when I first wake him up, he always fires up. Not completely, because he's more like a really dark chocolate, but he has gotten darker since I got him out a second ago. So anyway, we'll go ahead and put him up, and then we'll get on to Phoenix. Okay, so this here is Phoenix. She is a Harlequin, possibly could be considered an extreme Harlequin, but with her, it really didn't matter too much to me which one it was, even though she does have a decent amount of pattern that stretches up towards that middle and upper dorsal. You can kind of see how the, whoop, she's on the move. You can kind of see how that pattern stretches off of her back and down to her sides, which is cool, so she's got a little bit of drippy, but I would never recommend anyone breeding an animal that cannot make it over 44 grams all the time. Like, she was 44 grams one time last year. Oh, wait, no, 46 grams. But this year, she's just been in the low 40s, but you can see she hardly ever reaches the high 40s. Even any last month, or last year, I mean, you can see that she reached 46 grams one time last year, or in 2018, she didn't even reach anywhere near 45 grams. So I would definitely suggest, if you are thinking about breeding crested geckos, that if your adult gecko, because she's going to be like 4, if your adult gecko cannot reach over 50 grams, I would not breed them. Like, for me, I wouldn't feel comfortable breeding her, because when she lays her dud eggs, because she does lay eggs, she, like, weighs nothing when she's done laying them. It's like, it's definitely not healthy for her, and I feel like she would definitely be depleted in calcium. Like, she one time was depleted in calcium after she laid an egg, and it was 1 egg, not 2. And she was, like, so wobbly and shaking, and I was, like, super scared. And, like, luckily that night, she was getting calcium in her food, so I feel like that helped, because the next day I checked on her and she was okay, but still. And she's 42 grams this month. Let's see, she was 43 last month, so she's lost 1 gram, but as you can see, she really fluctuates back and forth. But again, I would just not suggest breeding an adult female that cannot get into the 50 gram and obviously higher range, just because I do not think it's as healthy for them. Their body size is just really small. There could be complications. The babies themselves could be really tiny, and look how dark she is right now. Very fired up. But, I mean, the one thing I love, though, is she has a very broad dorsal. Like, it's almost as broad as my thumb. So, she is very pretty, but I just would never see myself breeding her, because if she ever were to be bred, the babies could be really tiny, or she could, of course, like I say, have problems. So, just kind of a little tip there. If you want to breed a female, pick a very nice, healthy one. I mean, Ember obviously is a perfect specimen, except she's going on a diet, because she definitely does not need to be 77 grams, but anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. maybe educational. Got to see a bunch of really cute geckos that are like super neat looking. Thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. It's always appreciated. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.